Alright guys, so the new banner up here for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and also the new supporters, which I guess mainly this video I want to talk about the supporters. Um, I guess it's probably going to be a bit controversial, probably for a fair bit in, I'd say, the meta for quite a while. Now, there's a few reasons why I think it's going to be controversial, right? So, for starters, I'm going to say these supporters are a good idea, right? Don't get me started yet, you know. Don't race me just you haven't finished. But the thing that I don't agree with is how you get these supporters, right? And how many you need, right? So, I think, if I remember correctly, you need 111 shards, I think they're called. Which is pretty much dupes of a character, right? So you need 111 shards, right? So as you can see, we got Yajirobe pretty quickly, which is obviously a good start. But we need 111 of them. That's quite a fair bit, obviously. So the reason why I think this is a bad idea is only because of summons, right? I think the supporters themselves are a good idea because if you play a lot of, or if you've heard of Dokkan and you've played a lot of it, or you know a bit about it, Dokkan has a very similar thing called like support memories, right? Which is essentially what Legends has got here with supports, right? Now, with Dokkan, to get the support memories, you just have to do an event, right? That's it. And the event's not usually too hard unless you do like the harder difficulty events to get better support memories. But typically, they're fairly easy to get, right? You can pretty much get them within, let's say, what, a few minutes to fully get the support memory, and that's it. With Legends, you have to summon, and it's quite a fair bit. So I think someone roughly worked it out to be 20k CC per support unit, right? Now, to me, you can look at it a few ways, right? For one, 20k CC isn't too bad. Like, it is a lot, right? But it's not too bad, considering like some of these units, like, you know, new LFs, for example, you can easily go through that trying to get the one unit, right? So, it's okay-ish there. But when you look at what the support unit does, is it worth 20k CC to max it out? Probably not, right? I don't think it's that worth getting. The support units are good, but is it 20k CC worth? Probably not. I think Yajirobe could be a big help for, like, if you're versing, you know, Ultra Freezer, for example. I think it'd be a very big help there. But at the same time, is he 20k CC worthy? Probably not. So, I mean, I guess really I should have started talking about the new Goku. The new Goku seems pretty cool, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But I was really hoping he would transform to Super Saiyan 4. But his transformation when he goes to Great Ape is actually a really sick, like, you know, transition animation. So I'm really happy with that. But I do wish he went Super Saiyan 4, but, I mean, hey, you can't really complain too much, right? Well, I guess as supporters you can. The banner itself, see, this is going to be a hard thing to talk about whether you should summon or skip. I'll obviously do a separate video talking about this anyway. But I guess we might as well talk about it here, because we've got probably a lot of summons here, because we're not getting very lucky here. The only good thing about the supporters, I probably should have mentioned, is I think the rate is 4% to get a supporter. So you have a very high chance of getting one. But, like I said at the start, you need 111 copies, which is quite a fair bit. But there is something else that makes it a little bit easier, which is technically the better way to get it. And that's actually to get them from the new Chrono shop, which I'll show you in a separate video anyway, talking about the best way to get the supporters. But I don't know if I recommend you use your CC to get these supporters. Are they worth it? Probably in the long run, I'd say yes. But at the same time, we have Legends Fest coming up in, what, a few months now? And typically around this period, I like to say for players to sort of save up your CC. But by the way they're already pushing these supporters, I think they're going to be a huge deal to the game, which makes it harder for me to say it's worth to skip. Like, Goku himself, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, does seem good. I mean, I haven't really seen him in game just yet, obviously. But he does look okay on paper, right? But, like I said, is he really worth it? Probably not. I think maybe Ultra Vegeta is probably a bit better to summon for. You know, but at the same time, like I said, if they're going to heavily push this supporters update, supporters are going to be a big deal, which makes it hard to say to skip. But at the same time, I don't know, it's really hard to say, because the other key thing with supporters you look at as well is there's what 4 tiers or 4 level tiers, I guess you can call it. And I think it's like from what 1 to 30, 30 to 60, something like that. I can't remember the exact levels. But obviously each like step up you get is a huge increase on the abilities and that. So that's why dupes matter so much, right? Which is another key thing to it. Like, is it worth actually summoning for? Like, there's... To me, how I would have done it if I was Legends is I would have done 2 options, right? So you can either get them in summons, right? They can keep that if they want. I don't know if I'd have them as featured units. Actually, are they... I don't think they are featured, are they? If they're not, keep them unfeatured. Right, but I think what they said as well, this is the only banner they'll be on till they return later on, which is stupid yet again. Like I said, you need so many copies. So what I would have done, anyway, is keep them in the summons, and then have the next new raid that comes out, whatever that's going to be, have them in the shop there. Get them like you can get 10 shards, or so 10 levels in the shop there. I think, to me, that'd be really fair, because it's helping out the free-play community, and it's also helping out the whales of the game. So you're sort of, you know, you're doing 2 things in one sort of thing, right? So they can still earn their money if they want, because obviously Legends is getting pretty greedy with the supporters update. So they can still keep the money side of things if that's what they're worried about, and then also how about the free play side of things. Or if they really want, which I don't know if I'd recommend it, because I used to play back then, obviously. But if you're an OG like me, and you remember the old Kid Goku Zenkai, the free-to-play like Legends Road one, his Zenkai was annoying to grind because you had to do it in co-op, I'm pretty sure, which took several, I can't even remember, I think it was a few days it took me to do, roughly. It was a very long grind, right? But they could do something similar to that with these like supporters. If they want to really heavily push this, make it easier to get these copies of, right? Because like, yeah, most of these free-to-play people, I don't think they'll have these units till like to level 30 till maybe after the new year, right? Because like I said, these units, well, these supporters here will go away after this banner, I'm pretty sure they said, and they'll return on a separate banner or a later banner. So the only other way you can do it is you can buy dupes in the Chrono Crystal shop, which is technically the best way to get them level up, because you can get 5 shards in one, which costs 500 CC. I think it is. So, it's good that there's still a way you can get it after these banners go away. But like I said, with Legends Fest coming up, is it worth spending every bit of CC you can on these supporters? I don't think so. But at the same time, it's hard to say, because we haven't really seen, well, we obviously haven't seen the supporter in action yet at full level. So it's hard to say how impactful they're going to be till we see it in game. I think obviously a few YouTubers probably will max it out. Will I personally do it? Probably not. Just because I think it's a really stupid way to do it. For example, with Zenkais when they first released, I didn't get any units done back then, because I thought it was stupid you had to actually use your CC, like a hard-earned CC to get these Zenkais, which pretty much, if you compare it to Dokkan, is like an easy A, and you never have to, use in-game currency for an easy A. So that's the way I look at it, and I think it should be the same with supporters. You shouldn't have to summon for them. You can keep them in the summons, but make it easier to get them in a free-to-play way as well. Even like an event, for example, like an arts boosting event, where they got that new one, where it's like a daily event thing where you do like one attempt a day and you get whatever it is arts core, right? You can do the same thing with these shards. But yeah, I think this update, I'm probably going to do a separate video talking about this again. I don't think this is going to break Legends, because there is easy fixes to these supporters, right? Like I said, the supporters themselves are a good idea. Right, they can keep the supporters in, but have easier ways to obtain these shards or levels, because it's just ridiculous to try and get them, if that makes sense. So if they can fix that, I think Legends is in a really good boat still. I don't think the game's dying, as people are saying. Yes, it's in a boring period. This always happens during anniversary. A lot of people say, oh yeah, but this one's really bad. Yeah, because you're taking more notice of it now. I think that's the big difference. And there's a lot of other games, for example, Gekishin Squadron just came out, right? So a lot more people are going to be playing that now, so it's going to be even less. Dokkan, obviously a lot of people will be playing that because they're in a big campaign at the moment. So Dokkan doesn't have to worry about that. But Legends will be in a dry boat all the way pretty much to Legends Fest. So there's still, is it 2 months away? I think 1 or 2 months away. So there's still a very long way to go, which I guess is making things a little bit scary for Legends if you do look at it technically. Like I said, I don't think the game is technically dying. It is getting obviously slow, but it's not dying because it's just in a quiet period. But I think what makes it worse is these stupid changes with supporters and that. Having this sort of update, it does massively impact the fan base. Mainly the free-to-play people, but even the other people that do obviously spend money on this game, you can obviously tell it's affecting them because it's just more ways for Legends to earn money which they shouldn't have to worry about, sort of thing. Like, why don't they add more hype units to Legends more? For example, why don't they do more game original characters, like another Goku and Bardock sort of situation, right? It would have done well in top grossing was. I don't think we actually hit top grossing for it. But you know what I mean, right? If they come up with, like, new game-breaking characters that are, like, only in Legends sort of thing, it's going to earn them a lot of money, and they're going to have to worry about these trashy choices here with these supporters. They can worry about bigger updates, right? Because this update is essentially meant to be, well, I guess I can technically say it now because it is officially over, but I've been told that this update was meant to drop for part 3 of Anniversary. So the reason why we're getting it now is obviously because it's finally up ready, and obviously before there were some technical sides to it. I don't know what they were, but I've been told it's meant to drop for part 3. So obviously it would make sense to Dende and all that and Yajirobe. But if it's dropped an Anniversary, I don't know how well that would have gone still. Because it's still a terrible idea having to, pretty much when you think about it, you have to pay to get these units. When you look at it essentially, like, yes, you do get CC for free, but if they want you to max out these units, there's no way you can have 40k CC laying around to get these units done. And then also CC to summon. You know? Because like I said, once this banner goes, you have to use the remaining CC. Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, it's just an option. But you can buy dupes in the exchange, well, in the CC shop, right? So it's very poorly done in terms of how to get the supporters, but other than that, I do like the supporters. It's just obtaining them is just the worst thing you could possibly do. But I do think Legends will obviously see the community, because it may not seem like it, but Legends does have they have people, I guess, scout the community, I guess you can call it. Watch the community. And they'll see, like, on the Legends post, like, people will say, oh, this is a horrible idea. Stuff like that. So, they will receive your feedback, obviously. The one thing I don't want to see, which I feel like will happen, is review bombing, right? So, if you don't know what review bombing is, I'm not advocating this. I don't think you should do it. I'm just saying, if you see it, don't do it. And that's basically people go over, like, Google Play or Apple App Store, for example. And they'll go on the review section, and they'll make their own reviews and do, like, 1 star and then put trash game and stuff like that and just spam it with 1 stars. So doing that, yes, it gets their attention, but that can also kill the game, right? Because obviously when Bandai looks at it and goes, hey, why have we got 1 star sort of thing, it's a huge impact to the game. So doing that, it's not the best way to get through to them. Well, it is technically, but your best way to do it is, if you guys really do want to make a change, which, like I said, it definitely needs to happen. They'll probably do, I want to say in a week or 2, they'll probably do, actually, we'll make it 2 weeks. Probably 2 weeks, they'll make an announcement saying about, look at a survey coming for the supporters update. That's when you get a heavily impact with what you put in the survey. Obviously, don't be mean to them, swearing at them, stuff like that. Just really, really get it into them that this update needs to have a big change to be impactful to the game, sort of thing. And then also, if you want, you can put stuff on Twitter and all that sort of stuff, like on the comment section, to sort of really get it through to them. But at the same time, don't be too rough to them, because it is, yeah, like I said, it is a stupid change, but they are experimenting, right? Which is obviously good for the game. In one way, I like it when games experiment like this and make new stuff, because it's good and exciting, but there can be backlash, so it's not entirely their fault. It's good to try new things, it's just, it's very poorly executed, I guess is the best way to describe it. By the way, I totally rambled on past pulling Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but we'll keep going till we eventually finish off the CC here. I mean, we're getting pretty lucky, I would say. We're getting a lot of supporters, so that's obviously really good. More supporter dupes obviously better for me. But probably tomorrow, my time, I'll probably get the best way to get supporters update videos, so... I mean, there's not really any fast ways to do it, to be honest. It's going to be a very long period, but it's a good way to do it. But I think we'll wrap up the video here. I don't expect anything too exciting here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, guys, how you guys feel about the supporters update, and how you feel about the new Super Saiyan Goku, if you're hyped and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, if you guys like this video and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you as a win the next one.